They came in nameless cargo ships across long waters to the Gold Mountain. My name is Yen Lu Wong. I was born in Kunming, Yunnan, near Tibet. In this western part of China, there are many indigenous peoples whose rituals of dancing and singing made an indelible impression on me at a very early age. In 1958, I came to the United States to study medicine. While in New York, I took a class at the Martha Graham School, and that changed my life. Martha Graham admonished me, "Don't follow me," she said. "You must listen to the footsteps of your own ancestors." Who were my ancestors? Were they Confucius and sages, ancient emperors and empresses? And who were my ancestors in this new land, courageous enough to leave their ancestral homes and start a new life in the western United States? Who were they that laid the tracks for the Pacific Railroad? Who devised the dynamite for the tunnels through the Sierra Nevadas? Who built San Francisco? And who tilled the soil and sowed the seeds of the San Joaquin Valley? Procession. I didn't set out to do a realistic work. Golden Mountain, like many of my other works, is a ritual and ceremony employing metaphors and symbolism. Golden Mountain is what the Chinese called America in 1848. This work began with a procession. The procession is both a ritual and an event. It's a ritual for performers and audience, joined to share an experience and celebrate a people. It's an event, a gathering of those departing for a distant land and those who have come to see them off. The journey. They came in nameless cargo ships across long waters to the Gold Mountain. This figure, the protector of the seafarer, the goddess of the sea, Mazu, tries to turn the ship back, foreseeing pain, suffering, and death lying ahead. But the men do not hear her, and they push on. Landing and persecution. The welcome was short-lived. Laws were enacted to keep the Chinese out. Quotas were imposed. No women or families were allowed to join their men. The 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act stated, "We will not permit the purity and sweetness of our national waters to be contaminated or polluted." The men's queues were tied to horses and they were dragged through the streets. The Chinese were herded into huts and burned alive. They were put on boats and set adrift. They were beaten and tortured. They laid the railroads, dug the mines, irrigated the fields and orchards, sewed the garments, and then later seemed almost to disappear into the steam of hand laundries, restaurant kitchens, and the labyrinths of scientific laboratories. Much of the musical structure for Golden Mountain was based on that of early Zhou dynasty. For ceremonies and rituals, Confucius prescribed special percussion music to be played on pianzhong and pianqing, which are marble pieces hung on frames and played with mallets. We created the same scale and achieved similar effects by using clay pots, brake drums, and metal sculptures. An entire village or clan would save up enough money to send one young man abroad. This middle waterfall separates two worlds: the world of the women at home in China and the world of the men at work in America. Men from an entire village would travel to America, leaving behind women to care for the children, the sick, and the elderly. The women were diligent, obedient, and humble, rising early, doing without. They were good in womancraft, sewing, mending, spinning, cooking, cleaning, and saving. And the men toiled away in America, working for others, planting the orchards, panning for gold. Here we see the foreman wearing a coolie hat, dragging his queue, his pigtail behind him, bowing to the boss, beating his fellow Chinamen. He is the middleman, the broker, who contracts laborers from his village and profits from them. China in the late 19th century was ransacked by the invasion of the European countries and devastated by drought, flood, famine, and internal uprisings. In time, the women became strong. They defended and protected their villages. Their blood, too, built the railroad in America. When the California gold rush came to an end, the Chinese were brought in to build the railroad, not just for hard labor, but for their knowledge of engineering and their use of dynamite. Return of the Man from Golden Mountain. I use a traditional lion dance, a symbol of good fortune and fertility, to represent the man who has made it, coming home, dancing on the bodies of those who have died building America. This lion, however, has drunk a lot of Coca-Cola, has the glitz and glitter of California. He's quite Americanized. The villagers welcome him with a dragon dance. This woman whose husband has died finds the only choice is for her to die too. Without him, there's no livelihood for her or her children. The entire village, her community, bears witness to her choice. Here she offers the rope that she's going to hang herself with to the community. They receive it, and in so doing, not only bear witness, but also celebrate her for her courage and her strength. As the villagers accompany her to the underworld, these mylar panels catch the last rays of the setting sun, turning the ground golden. Grievances. In this ceremony of purgation, they are carrying the bones and ashes of the dead. Because it was too costly to send the bodies home to China, the dead were buried temporarily in America. After 7 years, the graves were reopened by the eldest son. The bones were washed and placed carefully in an urn and carried home to China. The woman who hung herself rises and pleads her case in the court. She is the symbol for all those who have been persecuted. The archetypal parents carve the words 报仇 on the back of the son. Make known to the world the wrongs that have been done, so that the next generation will always remember. Make known to the world the wrongs that have been done, so that the next generations will always remember.